I'm tired of being a people pleaser. As long as that's okay with everybody.
Who have you ever pleased?
I said as long as it's okay with everybody. All right.
I see what you're
And,
there.
and they're done. There we go. All right. So,
And
hey,
John's out.
well, I got a few others.
Try the veal, people. He'll be
Exactly.
here
I'll be
all
week.
show.
Forget to tip your bartenders. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 7th, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you, whatever the hell that was. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
The aforementioned muted Beer Samurai.
Well, you're not muted now.
Well,
when you had to talk, you were unmuted, right?
No, because when you said the date, I was going to do the whole a date that will live in infamy thing because it is December 7th.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll say it again. Today is Tuesday, December 7th.
A date that will live in infamy.
Yes, it was a very, very bad day 80 years
Yes.
ago.
Yes.
80 years ago.
Seeing the images of the Arizona monument all over my feed.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
80 years.
But on a funner note,
you were only a kid then, weren't you?
Yeah. I think Brian Alt was a teen.
He was in high school, yes. He was. Yeah.
But on more fun note, or a funner note.
Funner.
Not funnier. It is National Marshmallow Peeps Day.
It is National...
And
what day is it?
Today is December 7th, National Marshmallow Peeps Day.
National Marshmallow Peeps Day. Shouldn't that be in April?
You would think it would be in April, considering they were originally Easter.
Right, exactly.
And they're the number 2 selling confection for Easter, chocolate being number 1, of course.
Of course. Right.
And then I guess Cadbury cream eggs or the little malt eggs are probably somewhere behind there.
Right. They're actually as disgustingly sweet and people hate them and everything else. I actually like them a lot.
I like the caramel one. It's better. But
the caramel ones I'm talking about.
So these, now what they've done.
I can eat the regular cream one, but, you know.
But I was trying to figure out why today was National Marshmallow Peeps Day.
Right.
I can't find any reference to it. So Sam Just, the founder of Sam Bourne, the founder of Just Born Company, which makes Peeps, was not. He was born in like September, I think. So that doesn't count for it.
Maybe his kid or something, or
I don't know. I have no idea why.
Father, relative. Maybe that's when he invented Peeps. Maybe he actually came up with the patent on December 7th.
I didn't see anything about that, but anything's possible.
Right.
But remember, they were just Easter, but now, we got holidays. We got like little snowmen here.
Sure. Now you have Peeps for all holidays.
For all holidays.
Right. They even have them for Labor Day, right?
Labor Day?
Sure.
So is it a fetus crowning? What is it?
Something like that.
No, not that kind of labor.
Not that kind of Labor Day, no.
So, but the great thing about these is you can still bite their heads off.
Exactly.
You can still do that. I imagine if you put them in the microwave, they'll still bubble and froth.
Probably, most likely. Seeing as they're the exact same thing with different frosting on it. So
the only thing about these is they're just a little too fresh.
Yeah, you need them stale.
Yeah, I unpackaged them yesterday. They've been sitting out for 24 hours.
That's still not enough. You need at least...
there's not enough crunch to them.
Exactly.
So most people eat them stale. Some people put them in the freezer. I don't get that.
That I don't get. The only candy I put in the freezer is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And I don't even put all of them in the freezer. I don't put like every single peanut butter cup I eat, I put in the freezer. No, I do put them from time to time in there, but that's the only one I do put in the freezer.
The only candy I ever put in the freezer were the Charleston Chews.
Yeah, they're good, I guess. They can be.
Remember those? You freeze them.
Sure.
You take it and you smack it on a table, and you got all the little bite-sized pieces.
Exactly. I
But
had a Charleston Chew in probably 40 years. So.
Well, they have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, I think, were the 3 flavors. I think those are the only 3 flavors that existed back then.
Makes sense.
That and Whorehound.
That was a flavor back then?
It actually was. If you go and you find those little sticks, little hard licorice sticks, Whorehound was a flavor. Whorehound is the flavoring in Moxie. If anybody from Maine is listening, they'll attest to this. But it's the flavoring in Moxie.
Whorehound.
Whorehound.
It's an acquired taste.
I think it's HOAR.
So it's not WHOREHOUND.
No, I know a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But no, they also make the Peeps now chocolate coating on the bottom.
Right.
You seen those?
Yep. Yes.
I don't know what.
I don't know why it's a point. Like, I guess it's just an extra. Why not?
Extra dose
for
of
people
diabetes.
that like marshmallow with chocolate.
I guess.
Soon they'll put graham cracker underneath that, and then you can basically have your own Peeps s'more.
You might be onto something right there.
See that?
You might be onto something.
Got to work on that.
So, well, we should bring our guest in and ask him what he thinks about Peeps.
We could do that. Our guest tonight was supposed to be Mr. Joe DeCalzo from Brick City Brewing in Little Ferry, New Jersey, northern New Jersey. He unfortunately had an unforeseen circumstance come up, and it prohibited from being on the show this evening. He did try, he did want to, but it just didn't work out. So we rescheduled him. He'll be on the show on January the 4th. Our first 2022 guest. He will be.
There we go.
There you
go. He got diabetes from eating too many Peeps.
Too many Peeps. Yeah, that was a problem. So he's just out in a sugar coma right now. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, tonight, as you all know, we have our very own Alec Baldwin here at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
our emergency guest.
Our emergency guest that stands in. He's a wonderful human being, salt of the earth, and we couldn't be happier to bring him on.
He is definitely salty.
He's very salty. That's where I was going with that. But we couldn't be happier to have him on the show with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show Mr. Tom Mulvihill, the Beer Whisperer.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I do want to say right up front, though, since you're comparing me to Alec Baldwin, I haven't killed anybody on purpose or accidentally. Not that can be proven anyway.
Lately.
Okay. Lately.
Damn,
Gotcha.
Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific drinker, purveyor, wisdom all around, good guy. Look at
There
that.
he is. Exactly. There you go. Perfect.
There we go.
So,
Now we've got that dispensed of the formalities.
there you go. And you, Tom, you actually also have the dubious honor of being the first guest on the posting slide to be, I'll put it up again, to have the holiday background behind you.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. How about that? I am
Look
a
at that.
festive guy.
Look at that.
The second guest to do the show in front of a fireplace.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, second guest.
Fireplace this time, yeah.
This is true. Look at this again. You see Christmas tree there? Do you see anything else in this, though? Do you see anything else in this?
I see a Christmas tree. I see a hop cone. I see. What am I supposed to be seeing?
Look over towards the glass of beer.
All the way to the left.
All the way to the left.
Okay.
It's a Festivus pole.
I do see that now.
Hey, John, when are we going to lose the
I'm
whistle?
trying to make a Festivus pour. I want to use a beer can, just line up about 15, 20, make a Festivus pour.
What show did I do that on?
Did you do that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it fell over on me.
That was we had a show on Festivus last year.
Yes, we had
on
a
the
show on
23rd. We did.
Yeah, Festivus fell on a Tuesday last year.
Yes, it did. No, it fell on a Wednesday because we didn't start doing the show until the following week
That's right.
on a Tuesday, and then it remained on Tuesdays at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. But in any event, no, actually, the whistle stays because it's part of. I mean, it's the locker room, the logger room. It's not. We're not doing sports. Obviously, the sports podcast has changed tunes, changed names. It's now the Get On With It podcast.
Yes.
But the whistle is part of our moniker. I mean, we should actually have them too. Well, it's the logo anyway. We should have whistles. So if one of us is rambling on, we can blow them, and
we'd be blowing all freaking show.
Exactly.
I should phrase that differently.
The whistle. The whistle.
Smile, if that's the case, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, whorehound.
Oh, I got to say, my wife was chuckling through that whole whorehound discussion. She's over on that, chair just laughing.
That's great. That's awesome.
So it's time.
The ones with the W, just so you know.
Oh, well, there you go. All right.
And what is your stance on Peeps?
I love Peeps. Oh my goodness, it was my favorite Easter candy. I love Peeps.
Stale, fresh, frozen.
Yes.
Yes, no, I've never done them frozen, but stale or fresh. Yeah, I've left them out for 3 days and still ate them.
Three, rookie.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Well, it depends on how many you have, right? I mean, if you leave them out for 3 days, if you don't have that many, they're not going to make it past 3 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna keep eating. I mean, you're gonna have that much willpower to not pick one up over the course of time.
Packs of 15 for 99 cents.
And you can't eat 15 in 3 days.
Oh, no, I can, but they're 99 cents. You spend $5 and
That's true,
you're good for a while.
Do a beer and peeps pairing next.
We got to do that. In April, we'll do that. You come on the show in April, we'll do a beer and peeps pairing.
I can do it right now, actually.
Well, I can't because I don't have any peeps. So we can't.
But actually, the thing is, the only thing about doing it in April is I don't think the Easter peeps have different flavors.
Yep, they do.
Oh, they've gone different flavors in now?
Sure, yeah,
Easter?
absolutely.
I know the holiday ones do because there's gingerbread ones, peppermint ones.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I'll have to go get some. My wife's been keeping me in the dark.
Oh boy! Well, she doesn't want you to get the diabetes. Well, it's time for beers.
I was gonna say let's open some beer. Let's open some beer. What are you drinking there right now, Mr. Whisperer?
Well, I wanted to go local. You know, I like to go local as much as possible.
Absolutely.
This came out from Springfield Brewing Company. It is Zari Night is their Imperial Stout that comes out Black Friday every year. They usually do a couple versions. So this is their bourbon barrel. It's their Bonbon Zari Night with cocoa and espresso aged in bourbon barrels. So let me show
Very
that.
nice.
Oh, very nice. That sounds yummy.
Let me pop that open for you.
Zari Night, if anybody weren't paying attention, is TSARRY.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Zari.
Tying in that Russian Imperial.
Yeah, you get that?
Sorry, man.
Aren't they clever?
They
That's so
are
clever.
so clever. It's amazing.
Zari Night.
Zari Night.
Look how beautiful this thing pours. Let me show you beer. Tell me that's not gorgeous.
That is pretty.
That is actually very pretty.
That is very pretty. Very pretty.
I would whorehound for that beer.
You would whorehound for any beer.
No,
almost any beer. Almost.
you know I've got my limits.
Almost any beer.
Oh, mercy. As you
you would whorehound for any good beer. How's that?
There you go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough.
So what are you guys drinking?
What are you drinking there, Samurai?
Well, I've got my tree. Well, actually, I've got Carrie's Treehouse glass. I got one of these, but dropped it on the way into the apartment. So,
now, how did you know? Here's the question. How did you know? Because I have my answer to this. How did you know that the one you broke was yours and the one that remained was hers?
because 2 trips ago, she got this one. I didn't get one. So there was only one glass to break.
Oh, okay. I just thought there was 2 glasses. One broke. The other one, of course, was hers. The one that broke was yours.
And of course, well, if that was the case, I'm the one who dropped it. So yes, of course, the one that broke would be mine.
Would be yours. Yeah, that's true.
But what I am drinking out of it is King Julius.
Oh, my.
King Julius.
Now, what's interesting, I told John earlier that I'd gone up there and I'd actually ordered and paid for a 4-pack of Julius. And it wasn't until today, after looking at it to get the ABV to send to John for his crawl like he loves to put up, that I realized actually this is King Julius. So, score
for that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that little mix up.
No,
unless I read the menu wrong, it's very possible.
And here's your crawl. There you go.
There's the crawl. The aforementioned crawl.
The aforementioned crawl.
Can I do a quick pairing with you guys real quick?
Sure.
Go right ahead. What are you eating there?
And this is holiday. My wife made these shortbread cookies for me today.
Oh, I love it.
This drives her crazy when I do this. I'm going to do this with her watching as I do this.
That's a beautiful thing.
That looks lovely.
Oh, my goodness. That's genius.
Is there any way here? You know what? Just here, pass me one.
Yeah, just send one over.
There you go.
I don't think that would go with my beer.
Probably not. It might go with my beer.
Since I haven't checked this in yet, so I got to do that.
Gotcha.
Because we're not only whorehounds, we're untapped whores.
Yeah, untapped whorehounds.
Yes, there we go.
Exactly. All right. I will put my beer up. I was gonna have some Brick City beer tonight, but I'm not now because obviously Joe did not come on the show. So I had some holiday beers in the fridge, and I want to drink them. I want to make room for some other stuff. So we're going with those. We're going with some lighter holiday beers.
So what's your first?
The first one is going to be closer to Tom than you or I. Shiner Holiday Cheer.
Oh, yeah, okay. That is a classic. You're right.
Classic one. It's actually here. I'm going to put the crawl up there. Hold on one second.
Gotta retake this photo.
It's actually a Dunkelweizen. It's a Dunkel, the style that they brew it with, but it's they brew it with peaches and pecans.
You sure it's a Dunkelweizen? Because they make something they call a Bock. That's really not a Bock.
No. Well, I mean, it's the style of a Dunkelweizen. So.
Okay.
There you go. But it actually.
So they call it an IPA.
You're funny. What are you trying to say there, you snob?
The holiday IPA.
There you go.
I don't know. I guess it's always bothered me that they call Shiner Bock, and it's really not a Bock.
It's really not a Bock, but hey, you know what? Is what it is. But this one actually is, of all the Shiner beers, this one is actually my favorite. It's very drinkable. It's pretty tasty, and let me have a little sip. Hang on a second. Yep, that's good.
I'm gonna have to go dark with my next beer, aren't I? I'm feeling left out.
You're feeling left out? Yeah, you might want to do that.
Well, you guys usually pop a lot of big ABV, so I was ready for you today.
So you were ready, and
John went light.
Lo and behold, I went light. There you go.
So I'm at what, 8.2?
You're at 8.2. I'm at 5.4. Yeah.
But 9.
And Shiner Brew. It's not Shiner Brewing. It's Spetzel Brewing, right?
Spetzel.
Spetzel.
No, it'd be an A brewing. Spetzel.
Not Spatzel. Spetzel.
Spetzel.
Spotzel.
Yeah, but that'd be an A, and you'd have it in butter with some onions.
Anybody listening from Texas, because we do have a bunch of people listening from Texas, and Tony, if you're out there, let us know. Is it Spotzel, or Spetzel? Or something else?
Or something special.
Or something special. But it's we're located in Shiner, Texas, which is, where the name comes from. So
Tony's actually on the road right now.
He is in the road, yeah. In the road? On the road.
On the road.
Over the road.
He had actually sent me this is the view he has at the moment.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
I told him that's a hell of a lot of road.
That's a lot of road ahead of you.
A lot of road there, so.
And I bet you the view behind him is pretty much similar.
The same thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, all right. Well, we got them. How you guys doing this evening?
Oh, heck, if I was doing any better, I couldn't stand myself.
There you go. Well, that works.
By the fireplace, man, it is hot here. My balls are starting to sweat, though. It is.
You're talking about the ones that are hanging on the Christmas tree next to you, right? Yes, of course. A little glistening on them, right? I had.
I'm not even going to go. I was going to go with John Valby on that one, but we should probably not do John Valby on the show.
Aye.
Your mother? No, never mind.
Your father refills? Never mind.
There's so much stuff
There's
there.
So
the holiday stuff. If you've not heard of John Valby is known as Dr. Dirty.
Dirty, yes.
He's got a whole Christmas album where he just absolutely destroys every Christmas song and makes it as filthy as fuck.
Mm-hmm. How filthy is fuck?
Depends on.
Never mind. Let it go.
Never mind. We're gonna let that go.
Right.
But and Sleigh Ride is perhaps the dirtiest.
Sleigh Ride's probably the dirtiest. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But there's a lot of lines. I've seen him a few times live.
He's so much fun.
He's hysterical, and he's still playing. He's still, I think he's 130 now, 140 somewhere.
135, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
He's out of Buffalo,
New York.
So it's so cold up there that he's, he can be that old because he spends about 7 months out of the year frozen.
Exactly. As did the Patriots last night, even though they won the game. Well, actually, I guess the Bills were more frozen than the Patriots were last night.
Yeah, so they're closer to Buffalo.
This is true. In any event, I saw him a few times. The very first time we saw him, went out to see him, was a long time ago. We went out to Governor's in Long Island.
Okay.
Governor's Comedy Club.
You said it wrong. Long Island.
Long Island, yes.
Long Island.
And we're going out to Governor's, and we get off the Meadowbrook, and we get on Uniondale Turnpike, and we had to stop for gas anyway, just make sure we were going in the right direction, because it's the first time we went to Governor's, right? And stopped in a gas station, asked directions. We're sitting there, and I look across the street, and this is in the early days of this place, but there was a Sleepy's right across the street from the gas station, right? Right next door to the Sleepy's, the next building right next to it, was a nightclub called Insomnia. I was like, I got to take a picture of this. Too bad there weren't. Well, I don't think we had cell phones back then, but if we did, if there were cell phones, nobody had cameras on them. There were no flip phones or any of that stuff. But anyway, It was pretty funny. So, but Valby's hysterical. If you're listening to this and you never heard of John Valby and you have a demented mind and can appreciate dirty humor and song parodies, because it's all song parodies. It's all song parodies, and some of his own really too. Check him out. Go online.
Yeah,
tons of YouTube, his website. Yeah.
I song.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Eat Bite.
Yeah.
Eat Bite is his.
Eat Bite is his. Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
I won't go all the way through it. So don't worry about it. Knock knock.
We're not gonna.
Mr. Saturday Night.
Mr. Saturday Night who?
Mr. Saturday Night, but I got her on Sunday. Never mind. We'll leave it at that. So.
Well, what even get into some of the limericks from
you want to do that. Yeah, you can.
Oh, no, that was the... What song
that was I. Yeah. That was...
All right. So
we've gone down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, so how do we escape it? Well, let's talk about Tom's shirt there.
Let's talk about Tom's shirt for a minute, yeah. What's going on with your cocktail shirt there,
Tom? Classic, kind of 60s kind of cocktail shirt,
There you go.
Got martinis and a Manhattan and an old-fashioned, looks like.
No, I'll take a Manhattan.
I will take an old-fashioned.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I think we were going to talk about that later, right?
I've got myself walled in so I don't make it to the booze cabinet.
Okay.
Trying to. Yours is right behind you, so.
And I already took one down that I can actually finish because there's not much left in it. So.
Well, when you get to the top threes, that'll probably come up again.
It may. It may.
But yeah, and I have others. And I actually was going to. I was toying with the ideas. I just want some bourbon tonight if I am going to have any. But I was toying with the idea. I told you before. I said it when I was up in Boston about a month ago. On Friday night, we stopped at Bully Boy Distilling. In Dorchester. It's only about 4 or 5 blocks from Dorchester Brewing, Dave. So and we stopped there, and we're having the cocktails there are fantastic, and they make really good liquid there. But they have their own Amaro, and that they make, and they actually made one that they put a lot of extra rhubarb in it, and they call it rhubarbaro.
Oh my goodness!
Right? And it's actually won double gold at San Francisco. So.
Nice.
I tasted it and fell in love with it, and I actually have a bottle of it downstairs. Hasn't made it up here yet, and I was actually going to I haven't opened it yet. I was actually going to crack it on the show tonight, but I'm like, you know what? I can't, because what'll happen is it's full, and I'm cracking it, and it's so good, I will just drink way too much of it for a Tuesday night, so bad thing. So I chose not to. I went with the bottle, if we're going to have any, I went with the bottle that had a little in it, so I could just, finish that. And we'll make a dent. So anyway.
And I'm getting really jealous. I really want a shortbread cookie now.
I could go for one too.
I got shortbread is my favorite. I love shortbread.
I love shortbread cookies. Absolutely.
Amazing. She makes the best cookies and pies. Oh Lord have mercy.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I love a good shortbread cookie.
And it works beer very well.
My Amazon order was just delivered.
There you go. Bully for you.
Boy.
But that reminded me of an old sitcom, a line from an old sitcom. I do like a short cookie, Bert, and you do make them short. What is that from? Tell me.
No clue.
No clue, Tom?
No, not sure.
It's the Honeymooners.
Mm.
That's classic.
Yeah, it's very classic.
Oh, it makes sense, yeah.
It's that line is probably about 70 years old right now. So, back when you were in high school.
Long time ago.
I was talking to Dave, not Tom. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about some holiday stuff here. We talked about holiday beers on a few shows ago with Tony Forder from Ale Street. But let's get Tom's top three. Why the hell not? I mean, we went over ours. We know what ours are.
This is the holiday beer is not the top three.
It's not the top three that we're going to do later. It's just Tom Mulvihill's top three holiday beers that he enjoys himself, his favorites.
You might have one in his hand right now.
He might have one of them in his hand right now. He very well could. Absolutely.
Missouri Night, they do 2 versions of this Imperial Stout every year.
Right.
Last year they did this Bonbon, and they also did a vanilla. This year they did this Bonbon again, but the second one they did is a 3-barrel. They've aged it in 3 different barrels, and it is just beyond amazing.
You can check that on Friday.
Again, another local that you guys have heard me talk about, Mother's, another local brewery, is formerly known as MILF, the Materfamilias, which is their imperial stout aged in multi-spirit barrels and then blended together. So, but if I had to pick just in general, and I like to stay local, but I'm going to get off local for a second because I think this is the classic holiday beer, the Sierra Nevada Celebration.
That beer gets mentioned on the show so often.
This one?
That one right there. It is the
Where's yours, Dave?
holiday beer.
I don't have one.
Too bad for you.
Drank one the other night when we were in where were we? Oh, Underdog down in the Five Eye District.
Right.
Yes, redundant financial district.
I know. Five Eye District.
Five Eye District.
The financial district.
That was a good night because we started at Underdog. We made it to Fool's Gold after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to Proletariat.
Mm-hmm.
Then walked across the street to Augerswell.
Mm-hmm.
Then went around the corner to Good Beer.
Good beer's good.
Yeah.
Good beer's good.
So, it was a good night.
Yeah. And then, so it was early. Good beer usually closes at 9 or 10, right?
Yeah, no, we it was Friday night. We got back by I think 11.
All right.
And then there's Brooklyn dumpling shop opened on the corner of St. Mark's and is it Second, I think. But just down the road, there's a dumpling shop that just opened.
Nice. That's
Not
cool.
bad at all. Not
very
bad
nice.
at all. Owner's very nice.
Was Greg in Augerswell?
He was not.
He was not. Gotcha.
Was not.
He's coming on the show at some point soon. So
cool.
We'll get the whole shtick from the East Village at that point.
We should do a weekend show and do it from there.
We could do that. We could definitely do that. Anyway.
Though no one would hear us. That place can get very loud.
Well, it depends on when we do it. I mean, we can go over there and do it earlier too. If it's much later at night, forget about it. Not going to happen.
Okay, so those are your top 3 holiday beers right there, Tom?
So
the Zari Night, not necessarily the one, Zari. I always have the Zari Night, the Materfamilias, and like clockwork, usually about a week before Thanksgiving, I'll pick up the Sierra Nevada Celebration.
Just like Johnny.
3 I have every year.
I go, Tom, I don't know how much you go through, but I usually go through literally, and I have no shame in saying this, I usually go through about, probably a good 2 cases of Celebration myself. So,
and then
myself.
And then after Thanksgiving.
And then on Black Friday. So it was funny. I'll do a quick recap. What was funny is we did a top 3 list of our top 3 favorite holiday beers a couple weeks ago with Tony Forder, and we did this. It was the first list that we repeated because we did it last year at the same time, right? And we didn't look before we actually gave our top 3s. We didn't look at what ours were last year because your taste can change, your mindset can change, whatever from time to time, especially over the course of a year, especially with seasonals. So mine were my 2 and my 3 were different. My number 1 was the same, which is your number 1, which is my number 1, which is Sierra Nevada Celebration. That was the same, but last year I had said Nice Chouf and Scaldis Noel were my 2 and 3 respectively, and this year was St. Bernardus Christmas Ale and Avery Old Jubilation were my 2 and 3 respectively. However, Samurai gave his 3, 2, and 1, and they were exactly the same as his last year's 3, 2, and 1. Without even trying, that's what it was.
And guess what I found over the weekend?
And what did you find over the weekend? Prairie Christmas Bomb. There you go.
My number 1.
Your number 1. And his
that beer.
His number 2 is my number 2 is St. Bernardus, and his number 3 is Anchor. And I think we might see a
we might
our special,
yeah. So there you go. So cool. Any good beers lately? Just off the cuff, just holiday or other that you've had, Tom?
Well,
something special that you want to,
I kind of just covered it, but again, these came out on Black Friday. I love the chocolate espresso, but that 3 barrel is amazing because they age it in a bourbon, rum, and rye barrels and blend it together. And that beer is just crazy good. And then the Saturday before that, Mother's had their cellar sale, which is, they bring out all the beers that they have in the cellar and give you a shot at purchasing some of those. So I went in there and I made a few purchases. And basically what I did is buy different vintages of the milk or the Materfamilias.
Right.
So that's kind of what I've been drinking a lot of lately. And, well, like you said earlier, you got to buy a lot of this to start the holiday season.
Very nice.
Now that triple barrel one, you were drinking that Friday night, were you not?
Yes. Yes.
So anybody who doesn't know, Friday nights Beer Whisperer goes live.
Yes.
And he goes live with whatever's on his mind at the time and whatever's in his hand. And the higher the ABV, the more interesting the show becomes.
This is very true. Very true.
It's interesting that particular evening.
You. Well, I think I derailed you when I came on.
Oh, yeah, probably not. No, I usually just run with it. I never script anything. It's all just, it's just my rambling.
That's funny.
It's just the brain droppings of the Beer Whisperer.
Pretty much, yeah. Or some kind of droppings anyway. But yeah. Something's dropping.
That's funny. I normally pop on. Did you actually go on? Did you?
No.
Commenting? You were commenting.
Hi. Yeah.
You were commenting. Yeah. So I was close, Tom. It wasn't last Friday. It was Friday. No, maybe it was last Friday. You actually went live on Instagram too, and on Instagram you can actually request to join. And I was close to actually requesting to join. So sitting there with a drink, and then I was about to do it, and I got a phone call.
Oh.
So. We may have to take over a show one day.
There you go.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be a lot of notches in one,
That would be good. Yeah, it would be
get good and juiced first.
Exactly. So you have anything interesting there, Samurai, lately? Anything?
It's just I said this weekend hit up some of the better Manhattan craft beer bars.
Gotcha.
That's always a lot of fun.
Sure.
But now the city's being put kind of not quite on lockdown, but there's been some more.
It's as locked down as it can be without actually being on lockdown.
Yeah, right. So
if you want to call it that, yeah.
So I've been working from home because we've had some COVID cases in the office.
Gotcha. Get the hell out of there and get out of Dodge, so to speak, and hunker down at home for the time being. Good thing it's not the busy time like it was a few weeks ago for you.
Yeah,
that would have sucked.
So I work in the retail business, but my particular job is getting all the stuff that makes the stores pretty to the stores so they can prettify their stores.
Prettify.
So
prettify.
It's common.
It's a technical term.
Yeah, so we use it's an industry thing. So that way it can look like Christmas puked all over the store, in a good way.
Santa's Village of the Damned.
Yeah, right. So my holiday, for the most part, work-wise, is done.
Okay.
And actually, what I'm working on now is getting the stuff out for Valentine's Day.
There you go.
Yeah, so my role is like months ahead, and the people that do all the design are even they're nearly a year ahead.
Oh, there you go.
So they're already looking at stuff for holiday for next year.
Holidays for next year, a year out. There you go.
So that's so it's quieted down there. John will tell you he'll be on a Tuesday. He'll text me, "Hey, when's good to talk?" And I'll tell him February.
Maybe.
It got really insane. It was really intense month and a half.
That's crazy. Last night I actually partook in a few beers. Had some things to discuss and some football to watch, and one of our producers actually came by and we had an impromptu little can share, if you will.
That would be the mat.
That would be the mat. Yes. So we had a few. We had a couple of dark Czech lagers. We had a couple of alt beers.
Which would be more appropriate to drink with our other producer.
Very true. Very true. And then we got into some stouts. We had a Ross Oi Stout, which has been released this week. So
how was that?
It was very tasty. It's very tasty. Yeah, it's brewed with an oatmeal stout brewed with oysters and sea salt. So it's pretty good. So,
Oi.
And Oi Stout. I don't think it's like an Oi Stout. I don't think it's that. But
was it released for Hanukkah?
It was released for Hanukkah, right? Exactly. So, but in any event, kudos to PJ Wendell, who's been on the show, obviously, with Ross. The beer was pretty good. We had an Elevation beer, Vanilla Oil Man.
Oh, my.
Ooh.
It was really, really good.
Elevation makes some really good stuff.
It was so good. It was. I got to tell you. It poured motor oil, and it tasted so damn good. And it's one of those beers where, you pour it in a glass and you're smelling it, and you don't even want to drink it because you just want to keep smelling it.
Yep, I've had those.
Right.
Yep.
And then we wrapped up the evening with a beer that Kane released this past weekend, Washed Ashore, and it was dessert in a glass.
Nice.
Between the chocolate and the vanilla and some other stuff, but it was chocolate in a glass, and it was barrel aged too. It was so good, so good.
Now, speaking of Hanukkah, have you been following along with the Dave Grohl Hanukkah broadcasts?
I have not.
So this is the second year he's done it, where for Hanukkah he releases a cover with one of his bandmates, the other Jewish bandmate in Foo Fighters.
Sure.
And they do covers. And they do covers of songs by Jewish artists.
Okay.
They started off with a death.
Did they do some of the Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light?
No.
That one.
No. They're actually doing their songs.
Dreidel.
No, not Hanukkah songs. They're covers of these songs.
I want to hear a Foo Fighters metal version of Dreidel. That's what I want to hear.
Better yet, night one was the death metal version of "Stay" by Lisa Loeb.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. And that has what to do with Hanukkah?
Nothing. It's nothing. She's a Jewish artist.
Oh, I get it.
So they're just doing covers by Jewish artists.
I get you. Right.
They did Barry Manilow.
Mandy?
No, Copa.
Please say a metal version of Mandy.
That'd be awesome. No, they did Copa. But they did all the rest of the stuff they did kind of straight up. They did, let's see what else they did. They did Jump by Van Halen.
Okay.
David Lee Roth.
Sure, of course.
Train in Vain by The Clash.
Mm-hmm.
So, that would be Joe Strummer, and Mick Jones.
And Mick Jones, right, yeah. Yep.
Of course, they finished day 8 was Kiss.
Of course.
So it was it's a lot of fun. They did it last year. I need to go back and see them.
And what is his name?
Dave Grohl's or
No. You said Kiss, right? So why did they do it for Kiss?
But both. It's Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons.
But Gene Simmons, what's Gene Simmons' name?
Oh, I forget his real name.
Chaim Witz.
Yeah.
Chaim Witz, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but speaking of Hanukkah, we're losing a brewery out of New York City, are we not?
Are we?
Did we, or have they folded? What's going on with the Old Jewish Brewery?
The Old Jewish
Brewery.
Oh. When you said New York, I'm thinking the city. Yes, Schmaltz, yes. Well, here's the thing. Jeremy Cowan.
And under?
Well, they didn't go under. He's retiring the brand. Jeremy Cowan he was always a contract brewer. Then he opened his own brewery finally, like years and years into it, and he only had it for a short time, and he sold it. In fact, he sold the brewery to Single Cut.
Yes, he did.
And that's upstate New York in that. But in any event, and he went back to contract brewing, and he had been contract brewing again for several years now. But he retired the brand, and he's working on a few other things too.
The Lenny's Bittersweet RIPA.
The Lenny's the Lenny's is delicious. The Ripa on Rye is actually really good too.
And then there's the Jubilations.
And then the Jubilations, and Bok is actually one of my favorites. It's actually a very good beer.
I've never had that one.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Leon is chiming in.
Hey, it's my buddy Leon.
He said Gene Simmons is Gene Klein. It was Chaim Witz is Gene Simmons' name, no?
Because here's the thing. I am not going to question Leon on any of this stuff.
I'm not questioning him either. I just always thought it was Chaim Witz.
Because if you spend any time talking to Leon, you'll know immediately that he knows the name of every member of every band in every iteration that the band has ever been in.
And the names of their children and their never mind.
Yeah, and definitely their wives.
He also said Paul Stanley is Stanley Eisen.
They are.
And I'll go along with you on that because I actually didn't know that. But I really, I always thought forever I thought it was, and Tom's gone.
We lost Tom?
I guess Tom was upset.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Look down. But in any event, I'm sure he'll be back momentarily.
That little bugger got away again.
Yeah. But Leon, if you could just verify that, because I always believed that Gene Simmons' name was Chaim Witz, but
you know, trust me.
and he's back.
No.
That
it's verified.
I don't know. It's fine. I just wanna. I'll double check while you guys talk, and we'll have a little debatable about it.
I had some minor technical difficulties, but I'm back.
We noticed.
Well, thank you for getting back. We appreciate that. So.
I'm back.
See, what we do is we pay his wife to keep him there, and every now and then he tries to escape. But she just lures him back with shortbread.
She lures him right back, absolutely.
I chew through the hackles, man. There's not a straight jacket that can keep me down.
There we go. Gene Simmons, born Chaim Witz, August 25th, 1949, and is an Israeli-American musician, singer, and songwriter. Also known by his stage persona, the Demon. There you go.
Okay. Never heard him called that. He dresses as one, but I've never heard him.
I never heard him called that either, but that's news to me.
Dude.
But whatchamacallit. So there you go.
Oh my God, are you telling me?
Leon? And he said, "Just wikied. You're right. No worries, Leon."
This is the first time I've ever known Leon to be wrong.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, my world's just been turned upside down.
Leon, apparently you're disappointed samurai.
Not disappointed. It's just this doesn't
happen.
Shocked.
You shocked
it
samurai.
Doesn't happen.
There we go. Let's.
China's going to be launching missiles at us through containers. No, seriously, there is a conspiracy theory out there that China has loaded up shipping containers with missiles.
I gotcha.
And they're all worried because there's so many Chinese vessels sitting off the port of Los Angeles, mostly because we're so backed up in customs. Has nothing to do with that.
Hey, go. Oh, see, there you go. He says, "I have been wrong before. Remember, I was married."
He was indeed married.
Cheers.
Cheers. But
Dave, say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Been there, done
that.
All right, there you
go. Corrected. And
27 years.
See, she makes shortbread cookies for you, so that was probably not a mistake. The rest of us corrected our mistakes.
And I will tell you, and cheers to Leon, because Paul Stanley was born Stanley Burt Eisen. So that was correct. So there you go.
But no, this conspiracy theory is out there. They're worried because they've got all these Chinese vessels parked off of Los Angeles with all these containers on it, but they've been parked there for a very long time because customs is so backed up there. So to see if there's any truth behind it, I actually looked into it a little bit. Imagine that vetting information. Rather than just swallowing it hook, line, and sinker just because it goes with my with what I believe. So I looked into it. And it's true that there has been discussions about putting missiles in containers just to have a
storage
covert strike. But you know who came up with it?
Not sure.
We did.
Oh, of course. Well there you go.
It is the U.S. Navy. It actually was considering putting missiles on merchant vessels in containers.
Lovely.
But now the right-wing conspiracists now think that China's doing it.
All right. Well, seeing as we don't talk politics on this show.
Okay, so the nut job conspiracists.
He started.
All right.
Well, it came off of a right-wing website.
So, anyway, back to what you were talking about, though, Tom. Actually, Dave. Well, both of you, all three of us, as a matter of fact.
Were we?
Schmaltz.
Schmaltz.
Yeah. So he's Jeremy Cohen is retiring the brand. And who knows, he might bring it back in the future, but he's retiring the brand. He's got a couple other things going on, a couple other irons in the fire, so to speak. And he's been doing a tour for the last month. I think it's still going on for a bit. And he brewed a barley wine and a couple other things, and he's been on tour with some aged kegs and stuff like that. And he just did this past Saturday. He did a 2 hours at Spite and Dival in Williamsburg, and he did 3 hours at Barcade around the corner on Union Ave, the original Barcade in Williamsburg. And did we get confirmation that somebody that we know actually did attend on Saturday?
Yes, there's two people we know that attended.
And who were they?
One was Joe Granite,
right, and
the other was Mike Kivovitz.
Well, Mike is that's one thing, but Joe, I did say to him when this was first announced that they were doing it, I says, "Let me know if you're going. I will go with you." And
Ooh,
then I found out he went.
That rat bastard.
Yep, that rat bastard.
Major TFTI.
Major TF, especially, any other place is fine. But if you're going to go to Williamsburg and there's something going on at Spuyten and I tell you to let me know if you're going and you don't and you go, that's a problem.
That's almost as bad as telling someone to go there. I got tickets for an event there and then not showing up.
Yeah, but
with
you
the tickets.
still went. I still took care of it for you.
You didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I called Andy.
The bartender the bartender told me, he looks at me, he goes, because I was bitching about the aforementioned person who, I'm not going to say their John's name.
Right.
But the bartender, I'm starting to curse, and the bartender's like, what's wrong, man? So I told him what's going on. He's like, they're not checking a damn thing back there. Go on in.
Well,
so even though you may have made the call,
I did call Andy, but you were already there. Yeah. Well, when I called Andy, I texted you, and you says I'm already in the back. So
yeah, I'm already in the
whatever.
back.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I wound up with my son that day, which was fine because spending time with my son. Now my son is 21 now. At the time, he was 10. I think he was. I mean, it was a while ago.
That was a while
ago. So, so if I had gone in, it would have been me and you and my 10-year-old son. So
that would have been exciting.
Interesting. It would have been an interesting afternoon. So, but in any event, yeah. So that's what's going on with Jeremy with Schmaltz. Yeah, but we are losing 4 breweries in New Jersey.
I did get to talk to Garrett Oliver that night. So
yes, you did. You talked to Garrett.
We're losing another brewery.
We're losing 4 breweries in New Jersey.
4. Which
3
4?
are closing. 1 is moving. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm not even going to guess.
All right. Raritan Bay is closing. They're in Keyport.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not. They've only been around 2 years, maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe if they were a little better with their social media and marketing.
I'm not sure what the reason that they're closing is, so let's not jump to conclusions.
I'm just saying, but
in any event, yeah, and then Atco is closing.
Okay.
And I believe that has to do with another lease or something, and all on their property as well. And then Human Village is closing, and that has to do specifically with their lease. Their rent got raised, from what I heard. And they made the decision not to increase it and move on to other greener pastures, better and better things. Yeah, and then Referend, the blendery.
Yes, that's right. They're moving out of Jersey.
They're moving out of Jersey. They're moving to Pennsylvania. So we're losing them, not so much because they're closing. They'll still be around, but they'll be only about 5 miles away, but just on the other side of the river.
Yes,
from where they are now over in Pennsylvania. So.
And there's rumors of another brewery up for sale. We won't get into that. We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah. At first I heard about it, so okay.
No, I think you commented on the post, so.
I did? Yeah. Oh, no. Well, that was one of them. Wasn't it?
No.
No, it was another one? Okay.
No, we'll get to that.
We'll have to talk about it. We'll get
just in case it's fake news, we're not going to.
Just in case it's fake news, we'll have to vet it first.
Yes, let's
vet that first. Everything on this show. So there you go.
Bullshit.
No, we don't.
That's absolute bullshit. We can't back that
up.
As
bad as anybody else. Just like, anyway. So what's you know what? Let's talk about first.
No, let's open a second beer. I saw Tom drain his.
All right, Tom drained his. By the time you two finish yours, I'll be ready for my third. Second.
Oh shit! I don't have my bottle opener.
What the hell?
Here you go.
Here, thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna try the old trick about banging it against.
We got to do that one of these days. Like I'll put it here, and then you grab it, and you go like this, and it's gone, and you have the same one in your hand. That would be awesome. We got to do that.
Trying to figure out how to pull this off. I'm gonna have to run and get my bottle opener. It's not at my desk.
You are well prepared, my friend.
Actually, no. You know what? I've got it.
Why don't you use your desk? Just
No, because this is my mom's desk that I sit at. God rest her soul, and I don't want to. If I had I'm getting close to having cleavage. I could always do that.
Getting close.
All right. I would like to point out, though, that I'm pouring with my left hand.
Wow, look at that.
See, look at that. I'm right-handed now.
And you're pouring with your left. That's awesome. Kudos to you on that one. Well, I'll put that up right now because I already have that. That's not the right one.
Yeah.
This is the right one. There you go. That's the one you're drinking right there. Celebration 6.8%. Look at that. See? Where there's a will, there's a way. So
Always.
Tom is drinking Celebration, which is
Celebrate.
by far my favorite holiday beer.
And I am going to drink the aforementioned. I should use that word twice now on the show.
Aforementioned, the third time we mentioned
Now
it.
look what happened here.
Well,
The wrap.
the wrap on the neck fell down. Look at that. So there you
No,
go.
it didn't fall down. The wrap on the neck's there, but
No, there's the other one.
There's
There's
another
another one. There's like a collar.
oh,
on
the
that
under
one.
wrap. Oh,
The
yeah,
under
yeah.
wrap.
No.
Yeah.
No, look,
Yes.
it's the same thing as the top.
Is it?
That beer.
Is it really?
Yeah, see?
Oh, look at that. It is. You're right. So they put 2 on that bottle.
Yeah, something
You're
happened.
special.
I think apparently Bolero Snort did the labeling job for them this
I
year.
think it was. Yeah. So you're drinking an Anchor Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2021. Correct.
Yes, and John knows that I think this is one of the best years they've had in a while for this one.
Yep.
This is this one's special. Some wonderful cocoa notes, allspice, spruce. It's just a wonderful balance this year. Absolutely beautiful balance.
Well, there you go. Kudos. I will open up my third, second, whatever it is. There we go.
It's
We
somewhere
talk
out.
while I,
Of,
like,
it's
lean
somewhere out of earshot.
in. Exactly. Well, it was down there. I had a cooler or whatever, so keeping it a little colder. But again, just went with some of the lighter holiday beers we had in the fridge. We had a bunch for Thanksgiving and that, and old standby, Sam Adams Winter Lager.
There you go.
Why not?
Wait a second. You're drinking a lager.
I am drinking a lager on the lager room. Yes, I am. By the way, I just want to point out one thing. I just finished the lager on the lager room. I
Yes,
just
I
drank
know.
a Dunkelweizen. So
It's a Dunkelweizen.
Yeah.
That was a wheat beer. It's a wheat lager.
it's a wheat lager. So there you go. A lager nonetheless.
This is not going to last long.
I would imagine not. So there you go.
I got a 6-pack, wanting to put like 3 or 4 of them away.
Mhm.
There's only 2 left.
I get that beer. I get 2 6-packs a year because I'll blow through a 6-pack right away.
Yeah.
But of the second 6-pack, I always keep 2, so I can always do a 3-year vertical.
Right.
You know.
I usually get the 6-pack, leave 2, drink last year's with the new year.
Mm-hmm.
But I leave the one because I was building a vertical for the longest time that goes back to 2012 or 2014. I forget.
Okay.
But it actually broke the vertical last year.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you did. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
never
good.
got it last year.
So
Trying to remember what the reasoning was.
I do have, and it's under the bar back here. I do have a 5-year-old. It's in the fridge under the bar, I should say. I do have a 5-year-old Magnum of
Oh,
Anchor.
thank God you clarified. I thought you had a 5-year-old stuck in the fridge under your
I got a
bar.
5-year-old in the fridge right there. And a 5-year-old Magnum of Anchor. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, 2016.
Very nice.
So we'll have to. I'm not drinking a Magnum by myself, so we'll all have to have a little of that at some point. So, but in any event, I actually
We'll
did.
have to get Tom out to Jersey.
We'll have to get Tom at the Jersey, yeah, and we'll do that. But as he had his ticket in to get some of that is some shortbread cookies.
There you go.
Oh, I will make you up a very nice tin. I'll tell you.
There you go.
There you go. But
Uh-oh. Something's on fire.
maybe it is North Hudson.
Lord alarm.
North Hudson going to work.
Yep.
There you go. But anyway, as I was saying,
Actually, they're right. Wow, 1 block over.
look at that. So you can watch all the action from your window.
No, I think they're turning on. Sounds like they're making a left on the park.
All right.
Actually, it's either that or they've got Santa. Let's see what's going on out there.
Dave is such a
Nope.
kid when it comes to fire engines.
Nope. No Santa.
Anyway.
Oh, like you're not. Like you're not.
Well, duh. All right. Anyway, Anchor Christmas. Years ago, in 2013, we had a bunch of us. We did a vertical, and we did a vertical dating back to '96. So we did every year from '96 to 2013. So that was what, 18 years?
Wow.
18 years. And I got to tell you, you know what the best of all of those years was?
You think I have this memorized by now? This is the 3rd time you've told this.
Well, I haven't said it with Tom on the show now, have I?
Yeah, but you think I'd remember since I've heard of this.
Well, then why don't you tell everybody what the best year was?
No, I can't remember because that's my point. I've heard it 3 times now, and I still can't remember.
I guess it would be the first one.
No, actually, no. 96 was good. 98 was the best year of all 18 years. 98 was the best year. 2013, the best one, including the current year. 98 was the best year. The worst year was the next year. It was 99, actually. So, and I don't know if that was just a bottle. Maybe it oxidized a little bit. I'm not quite sure. But 98 was absolutely by far the best one of all 18 years when we did it in 2013.
This beer ages so well. That's
Absolutely.
why you can vertical it back to 10, 15 years. And it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
Some years don't. The balance might be a little off. Maybe, if they put some evergreen in it, some of the oils did something. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But some years hold up better than others, and it's just you got to get it every year.
Yeah, it's such a good beer. Yeah, they definitely have to. I mean, you have to get at least a 6-pack of it. Just get one of them.
And this is one of the OGs when it comes to holiday beers in the
Mm-hmm.
U.S.
This is true. This is definitely true.
And whereas you had some of your other OGs that really did not stand the test of time.
Yep.
Like one of the things I looked forward to every year was Harpoon's Winter Warmer.
Oh, sure.
It's not what it used to be.
It's not.
So
and I'm not sure why it's not, because it's not as if, let's put it this way. Harpoon has expanded over the years. We know this, right?
Yes.
But Harpoon's Winter Warmer was a very good beer. And make no mistake, I'm not saying it's a drain pour. It's just not what it was.
No, and it was about 6-7 years ago, I think, is what it.
But Harpoon has been at the size they are now and the capacity that they are now for many years.
Yep.
So it was still a good beer. It's not as if their production increase has caused it to fall off. It's not. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something different to it. And again, it's a good beer. I'm not faulting it. It's not what it was. It was
not
better.
what it was.
It doesn't mean it's bad now. It's a good beer. It was better 7,
it fell off
8 years ago.
What it used to be.
Right. So there you go. This is.
And I even had it on tap in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And there was really no.
As did I 2 weeks before you had it on tap.
Right, and there was no appreciable difference between that and the bottle version.
Although I will tell you, the best thing I had at the brewery that day was not a beer.
Oh, it was the cider?
No. Well, we got pretzels, right? Because you got to get a pretzel when you're at the brewery. But they had gobblers. They had.
Oh yes, the gobbler. Now the thing about the gobbler, because Carrie knows as well, she goes, "Oh, a gobbler, that's such a cool idea." I'm like, every place in New England has a gobbler. And a gobbler is just Thanksgiving on bread. On bread, yeah. It's just a sandwich.
But it was so good.
Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce.
Yeah, it was quite good.
You can get a gobbler in almost anywhere in New England year round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look for it, you can.
Yeah. No, they're always offered.
Doug Smith.
Oh, this is a very, very appropriate typo.
Okay. He said,
assuming it's a typo.
Cheers, Guts.
Yeah, that's a very appropriate.
And then he changed it to guys.
No, you were right the first time.
There's a lot of guts here.
There you go.
And we're not talking bravado or bravery.
Not at all. So, in any event.
Yeah, when people say, "Hey, go with your gut," I'm like, well, exactly. I kind of have to because it just kind of leads me.
Right, exactly.
It gets there first. It gets there first.
Exactly.
Yes, once you get that momentum going.
Right. So let's talk about, like, there's a lot of beers, obviously, other than there's holiday beers and everything else that we've been talking about ad nauseum now, but there's another release. There's a bunch of releases, obviously, right around Thanksgiving. We've talked about a few. We always talk about Epitome, Carton. I'm not going to say any first names or whatever, but Carton Brewing.
You know what I have on my mind tonight.
I know what you have on your mind tonight. Exactly.
I don't know if I'm going to do it.
No, I don't. I know what you told me earlier, what you might do. I don't know
if it's a good idea.
Well, you know what? If you're going to do it, the show is the place to do it. You have to do it.
Yes, it is.
Show. So, but in any event, I digress. Sorry, Tom, I had to steal that from you.
That's okay. I don't have a pen. I'm the first to say it. I just use it all.
Okay, yeah.
Forfend.
Right. I just wanted to talk about one of the bigger releases, obviously, on a national scale, not just locals and everything else, right around Thanksgiving, of course, is Bourbon County Stout from Goose.
Oh, those things.
Those things. Bourbon County brand stout.
What do they have? Like 22 variants?
They have 39 this year. Yes, they have. No, they have a few. They have a few good ones. This year they did they did the regular release, of course, right? They did the Cherrywood release. They did a
Too many jokes there. Go ahead.
All right. They did one called 14. Okay, and I'm intrigued by this because I actually went to buy one of them and they were sold out.
Is this the one in the tube?
No, it's not one in the tube.
No.
I have to find one. It is the Proprietor's Blend 2014 beer. So they kind of duplicated that as a regular variant release. So it's basically what you would have drank as the Proprietor's Blend in 2014 as a regular variant this year. So I'm intrigued to have that one because I did have the Proprietor's Blend in 2014. Of course, now I have to go back in my mind and say, was this the same? Of course, there's no way I'm going to know because I had it 7 years ago, right? But I do want to get one. I do want to get my hands on one of them. But they did a couple of tubes. They did a couple of special releases other than Proprietors. They did the 150-year. Was it Elijah Craig?
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was one of them. I could be wrong with it.
I don't pay attention to the release.
And they did one that was a double barrel. There was one that was they aged in a barrel. I forget what it was. I apologize. I can look really quick, but then they actually aged it a second aging in a toasted barrel of the same bourbon. And that one supposedly is very tasty.
Well, you know my feeling on the BCBS series.
I do.
And even though we try not to get political on the show, I'm going to go political for a second because it has nothing to do with politics, but beer politics. When Goose Island sold to AB InBev, I do understand and appreciate that the beer, especially BCBS, did not suffer. For me, that's not the point. My point is my money is going to the evil empire. I know what they use their money for.
Yeah, but it's not.
I do understand that it helps support the people at the brewery itself.
Yeah, because that beer is coming from Chicago, and I understand what you're saying, but that beer is coming from Chicago, and Goose Island as a brewery still does exist. They have investing from Anheuser-Busch, but there are still people working in a craft brewery in Chicago turning out really good beer. So it does affect them as well. So I understand what you're saying, but there's kind of a yin and a yang to that.
Right.
Anyway, a couple comments really quick. Doug Smith really quick. He said he's drinking a Westie 8, 10, and 12 at a tasting. We'll tune in again later. Have a good show, guys.
Now, that's an interesting thing right there because, of course – go ahead, Tom. Sorry, I walked over you.
Oh, no, I was just on the comment. That's perfect.
Yeah, 8, 10, and 12. There you go.
The interesting thing is, Westie 12 is like the holy grail, has been the holy grail of beers for so many years, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard people say they like 10 better.
I prefer 10 better.
Yeah, I think you were one of them. Yes.
I also prefer, and I might be in the I might be in the what's the word I'm looking
for?
Minority. Thank you. I might be in the minority here, but I actually prefer St. Bernardus.
Well, remember the whole thing. One of the mistakes behind West Flatiron is the difficulty to get it.
Sure, and it's the holy grail, not only because it's a good beer, but because of the difficulty people have in obtaining a bottle of it.
Because you know what my favorite quad is. It's not Westie 12.
Is it St. Bernardus?
No.
Your favorite quad?
It's got a number 10 after it.
Oh, you're talking about Travis Rockford.
Rochefort 10.
Rochefort 10, yeah.
That's my favorite quad.
Sure, that's such a good beer. But
it's another one of those beers that you smell and you don't want to drink.
You don't want to. Yeah, no. I can't drink that beer. I can't drink that beer until about a half an hour after I've poured it.
Correct.
Until it doesn't have any odor anymore, then I'll start drinking it.
And then you wonder if you've got COVID or not.
Couple other comments. Getting back to BCBS really quick. Matt Patensky, our one producer, that he said he had 14 the other night and it was fairly disappointing. All cinnamon overpowering anything else. Interesting.
That can happen.
Yes.
Cinnamon can do that.
So now let me ask you a question, Matt. And there's a couple of comments I'll throw up, but while I'm reading those other ones from you, Matt, let us know. Do you think it was something that it needs to be sat on? Get a bottle of it, sit on it for a couple of years, a year or two, and then the cinnamon will die down and the beer will be more drinkable, or is it something that was just too hot from the cinnamon? Let us
I
know
would
that.
thought that cinnamon increased through the years. I don't think it actually lies down.
And then he said Blanton's. I'm not sure if he meant it was Blanton's for the 14 or if it was Blanton's for the 150 one that I mentioned before. But he said that the double barrel was delicious, and he is who I heard that the double barrel was delicious for. And the double barrel was 2 Elijah Craig barrels. One was regular Elijah Craig barrel, and the other one was a toasted Elijah Craig barrel. And he just said cinnamon does not die down; it will get worse. Okay, fair enough.
Yep. Yeah, that's been my experience as well.
I have had beers that have cinnamon in them, but they haven't had a lot of cinnamon in them, and it's faded. If it's he's absolutely spot on. If it's that much cinnamon in it, it's not going anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
No, and he's right. It'll get worse, especially once I've known cinnamon to oxidize.
Okay.
And then it just becomes nearly undrinkable. Undrinkable.
Right.
Undrinkable. Undrinkable.
Gotcha. So cool. All right. Anyway, that's a little BC. That's our BCB-esque discussion for this show. So anyway, next week on the show we're going to piss Samurai off and talk about Wicked Weed.
The whole thing about the funniest thing about
and
Wicked
we'll round
Weed,
it out with Blue Point.
Blue Point was the first to fall.
They were. They have a gorgeous brewery though because of the AB InBev money though. I got to tell you that.
The AB InBev money going to Wicked Weed. If you remember, Wicked Weed every year held a beer festival for charity.
Yes.
And when they sold out, a lot of breweries pulled out of that festival.
Hold that thought 1 second. He's absolutely right. Yeah, the old 50, the 150 was Old Forester. Yes, it was.
There we go.
All right.
That's a nice bourbon.
That was a great bourbon. Yeah.
But and so Wicked Weed tweeted out, it's a shame. This is a charity event, and the fact that you guys are pulling out of this is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget which brewery commented back, you guys just made $2 billion. We think you can cover us.
Well, there you have it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that got shot back and forth.
There you have it. The reserve was Blanton's. That's what he meant before. So.
And if you've watched, I think it was the first show with Tom on, you'll know that Blanton's is my favorite bourbon.
Blanton's is your favorite bourbon, and you drank a lot of it that night. Do I need to rehash?
I didn't drink a lot of the Blanton's. It was everything else.
It's everything else you had before.
Because I measure out my Blanton's because it's so hard to get.
This is true.
It was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, it was hilarious. I woke up in the morning to Messenger going off, and it's Tom going, I'm going to be honest, this morning hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at work when I sent that message. Yeah, I wasn't paying, man.
Hey, at least you made it to work. That show broke a streak of mine. And the streak that I had was never calling out of work due to a hangover. I had to call out that morning. That was pretty.
That was a bad morning. And I have heard this too. Matt just said one more BCBS comment. He said the cola BCBS was terrible. I have heard that. I heard that from Matt, and I had heard that from at least 2 other people, if not more.
Which is interesting. I had a cola beer over the weekend at Proletariat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Belgian brewery.
Okay.
It smelled exactly like RC Cola.
Right.
Which
most of them do. Yeah.
It tasted a little like Moxie.
Okay.
That aforementioned Whorehound beer.
The Whorehound beer, right? Exactly.
Now I said aforementioned 3 times.
All right, aforementioned Whorehound and Moxie have been,
we're abusing it.
We're abusing it on the show.
We're talking about with an H or a W now, or does it matter?
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. So, all right. At that note, why don't we? While we're sipping these beers, because we'll have a little more to talk about. Do we want to get into our top 3, or do we want to finish these before we do our top 3s?
Let's do the top 3.
Let's do the top 3s.
Let's throw it out.
Let's jump to the top 3s. Let's throw it out there. All right. Hold on 1 second here. Our top 3s tonight, and we do our top 3s every. Hold on 1 second. We do our top 3s every week. Hold on 1 second here. Something's wrong here. Sorry. We do top 3s. Why? Because one.
John got really seriously distracted there for a moment.
I had to answer.
Someone just send you titty pics.
If only. I had to answer somebody really quick. We do top threes because top 10 list would take too long.
I prefer the left one.
And we're paying homage to 1933. Ironically, I'm a right guy.
Really?
So, yeah.
With Twix as well.
Well, you never mind. I thought we were talking about Twix. So I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway. So anyway, tonight's top three list is top three favorite non-beer holiday libations. Top three favorite non-beer holiday libations. And why don't we let our guest of honor, of course, Mr. Tom Mulvihill, the beer whisperer.
Also known as the Whiskey Whisperer.
Also known as the Whiskey Whisperer, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all-around good guy.
Yes.
Go first.
So you guys know me. I'm all about classics, right? You guys are good enough to know. So my answers are probably not going to surprise you. So it's three. Eggnog. I love eggnog. So and for me,
what do you put in your eggnog? What liquor?
Bourbon. Now I know that rum and or brandy is traditional, but I like bourbon.
I thought bourbon was the traditional for eggnog.
Now, rum or brandy or a combination of rum and brandy. Actually,
it's rum and brandy is right. Rum is usually the thing, but I'm a bourbon guy when it comes to that too.
And what a lot of folks don't know is that if you can serve eggnog hot, like cocoa, and it's a beautiful hot drink called a Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Really, did not know that.
Anyway, so that's my number three. My number two isn't going to surprise you either. The holiday season, even this might be better for another holiday season, but it works for the winter, is Irish coffee. I love me some Irish coffee.
Sure.
So although you will see me use some Irish whiskey to make Irish coffee, sometimes I make a hillbilly coffee where I add the bourbon instead of the Irish whiskey. But
nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
We all got a little Irish blood in us, or
just brew the coffee a little stronger.
Yeah, that's right. So number one probably isn't going to surprise you either. For me, the classic fall-winter cocktail, the classic holiday cocktail is the Manhattan. I love a Manhattan. If you've ever watched me as the Whiskey Whisperer, that is my all-time favorite cocktail. I love various versions of it, and in my opinion, nobody makes them better than me.
Oh, we're going to have Manhattan off then.
Right.
But I do love a Manhattan. It is a classic.
Because I think I make one of the best Manhattans out there, and I will drink that. I drink that year round. To me, it has no season.
I do love a Manhattan, but it is perfect for the colder months, because it is a warming cocktail, and it's just a feel good cocktail, right?
Oh yes, love it.
Mercy, this really irritates me. Now, you've heard me say, hey man, make the drink any way you want at your cocktail, but please don't ever put a bright red cherry in a Manhattan. That will.
Oh God, no.
That's a no. Yeah.
The Hulk, you won't like me when I'm angry. Yeah.
So what I do, because I can't afford the dark red ones, I do get the.
Matt said it was Kentucky coffee with the bourbon.
There you go. But
by the way, hold on. Thought Leon said he ran out of beer over the weekend, so he's having a few sips of Blanton's. Great show, Guts.
I guarantee you that is not a typo.
I'll pour something for you. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah,
so what I do is I do buy the maraschinos, but I drain them.
Uh-huh.
I rinse them to get as much of the food coloring out of there as possible. Then I fill the jar up with rye.
Mm-hmm.
So I soak those cherries in rye.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Okay, that makes sense.
So I warn everybody who's had my Manhattan for the first time, careful with the cherry.
Ah, gotcha. That's a great idea.
That's the prompt for someone to say, that's what she said. And then, they finish their Manhattan. By the time they get to the bottom of the Manhattan, they've forgotten what I told them.
Sure.
And when they pop that cherry in their mouth. I'm not even going to try to rephrase that.
Rephrase that one.
I'm not going to rephrase
it. When they pick up and place that cherry in their mouth.
Oh, there was a time.
There was a time.
Anyway,
yeah. Unfortunately, they've all been sacrificed to dragons. At any rate, you can see the look on their face when they're really surprised at what hits them when that happens.
Sure.
So I've actually done something similar in the past too. the cherries are crazy expensive. So in the past, I bought these beautiful at a European market, these beautiful Polish sour cherries that are about the same color as a Marasca or a Luxardo. And then I take the liquid out and I turn it into a syrup, and then I put it back in. It looks just exactly like a Luxardo or a Marasca.
Nice. Very nice.
And then you got this beautiful Polish sour cherry that's just gorgeous in that drink.
That's beautiful. That's nice.
Good thing to think of that one.
All right, Mr. Samurai, what are your top threes?
Well, I'm going to echo Tom with eggnog. And eggnog's all about what you spike it with.
Sure.
And whereas I used to, and I can't really brook those people who like put 7 different whiskeys in their eggnog.
One bourbon's fine with me. That's it.
Yeah, just so you need one.
Man.
Just 7. Why bother? It makes no sense. But I actually don't put whiskey in my bourbon. I don't put any of the other things. You said what I like in my bourbon because I like.
You don't put whiskey in your bourbon?
I'm sorry, whiskey in my eggnog. Let me get something else to drink. Drink myself back sober.
I have to concur. I never put whiskey in my bourbon.
So what? I've actually put whiskey. Have I put whiskey in? At any rate,
yeah.
So what I actually use because I like it to be easily drinkable.
Right.
I like it to sneak up on people.
Okay.
I put amaretto in mine.
Amaretto, that's interesting.
Interesting.
It makes such a lovely flavor.
Make it very sweet though, right?
It doesn't add too much sweetness to it, and it plays so well with the nutmeg.
Yeah, okay.
It's a beautiful thing, so I like to do that. And go ahead, Tom.
No, I was kind of stepping on your story a little bit. My wife doesn't like nutmeg, so I tend to use more I've got fresh allspice. I shave in.
Shaving the thing, yeah.
But the amaretto would work with the allspice as well.
Yeah,
sure.
amaretto. That's it. I'll have to see. Now I have to try it. Now that
I gotta try it. Yeah, I'm gonna try it tonight. As a matter of fact,
gotta give that a shot. A shot of amaretto. So what I am drinking tonight is Carrie had made some coquito, which is just a lot of people refer to that as Puerto Rican eggnog.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't have any egg whites in it. It's usually just egg yolk, a little bit of evaporated milk, cream, rum. There's the rum we talked about earlier, and coconut milk.
Yep.
So it's like a coconut rum eggnog.
Sure.
And I do love this. She made this a little strong, which is not a bad thing. I may have to kill the bottle.
Wow, that looks pretty good,
Matt
man.
just said everybody knows you have to put bourbon in your whiskey. I mean, everybody.
No, I was putting whiskey in my bourbon, so I'm doing it backwards according to Matt. So there's that.
So that the bourbon, you're doing it all wrong.
Right, exactly.
I've always been so wrong. Yeah. At any rate, on so many levels. So I'm not even putting these in order. There's no 3, 2, 1. These are just my top 3. Number 2, again, staying with amaretto. That's also what I spike my hot cocoa with.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I haven't tried it.
It works.
I put schnapps in my cocoa. Peppermint schnapps in the cocoa.
I've never been a peppermint cocoa fan. I get that, and I get why everyone loves that. I really do. The whole key thing is when you're making cocoa from scratch, so you get your cocoa and you get your sugar together, and then people try to pour in the milk and try to get that mixed into the milk, and that's nearly impossible. It takes so long. But cocoa powder dissolves immediately in alcohol. So get your cocoa, your sugar together, pour in the amaretto, whisk that together. It incorporates immediately.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's genius. Look at you.
Now, do you even add milk, or you just drink that?
I may have to try that. Just heat that up.
Get out.
Amaretto cocoa syrup right there.
You're using amaretto, so you might as well use almond milk, right?
What the hell, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No milk whatsoever. Just I like what John's going with this. Just go with the amaretto, the cocoa, the sugar. Warm that up a little bit. Pour that over vanilla ice cream, and we've got
That's not a bad idea.
Seriously, there now you got something.
That's not a bad idea at all. We're going to give that a shot.
There you go. But if you were going to make a cocoa out of it, if you were just going to dissolve it in the amaretto and then pour in milk, I like Tom's idea. Use the almond milk. Why not?
Actually, I tend to I'll use whole milk, but I'll
Mhm.
also put heavy cream in it towards the end because
You
you
got
don't
to put
want
a little. You got to put a little heavy cream in your cocoa. You got
to
to.
towards the end because you don't want to get that
No, no,
boil.
no. Yeah, yeah, no, no. At the end. At the end. Yeah.
But what I also like to do is I like to get baker's chocolate, shave some of that in there,
Well,
or just
that's
throw
just
in semi
garnish. I mean, you know.
no, or just throw in semi-sweet morsels and let
I
those
like
melt
the
in.
Or just
more.
stick a Hershey bar right in the glass and just drink
Yeah, just put them
I think the semi-sweet morsels, man. Oh, cheese whiz and bacon.
There you
yeah,
go.
cheese whiz and bacon on a
Cheese
Ritz.
whiz and bacon. There you go.
Yes.
I love
I can't for the life remember what my third one was, John.
it.
I had a third one.
We'll be distracted the samurai.
Damn. What was it?
I'll let you know what it was because you did text it to me earlier.
I texted it to you. What the hell
did.
was it? Please stay tuned, folks, while John acts as Dave's external memory.
I'm just, you know.
That's the dating game.
It's a dating game song, I know. Yeah.
So, like, looking that up, I'm going to tell you my peppermint schnapps story. So
Oh.
I was.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
Go ahead.
The first word is hot. You can figure out the rest.
Hot.
Starts with a T.
Oh God, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, considering we were at we were talking about bourbon.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hot toddies.
Toddies, yeah.
And it's funny because the first hot toddy recipe that I saw.
Better than NyQuil.
Oh God, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
It'll knock anything out of you and put you right to sleep if you have enough of them. But the first one, you know, it had your lemon, it had your cinnamon stick, it had your bourbon, but it had water.
But it had Tom's lemon and cinnamon stick and bourbon.
Did I say it? No,
You said it had your lemon, it had your cinnamon stick, it
Yeah,
had
it
your
was.
bourbon.
No, it's talking about your lemon.
I know.
But so it had the regular, you know, all the ingredients, but there's water.
Water in it. Yeah, water.
Yeah, there's water, and I'm like,
Mhm.
water.
Mhm.
Water's for pussies.
That's a hot
Yeah.
toddy. Yeah.
So I
That's
didn't
what
put
it
water
is.
in.
That's how you make it.
I know, and I didn't do it with water. I did it all straight bourbon, as the liquid.
God.
And talk about better than NyQuil, Tom.
You are immune to COVID, my friend.
So that's the way I used to make them for a while, and then eventually okay, maybe water's a good idea. So then I did start putting water in them, and anytime that I have
The hot water, then you drop that bourbon in that hot water, and it's the vapors that clear up your sinuses.
I actually would wound up doing it the other way around, where I'd heat everything in the bourbon, and then use cold water to bring it to drinking temperature.
Oh, there you go.
Is the way I would do it.
You got to use room temperature water.
That way,
Because
though.
it's going to be drinkable with room temperature water. You're not going to actually cool it down too much.
Yeah. So, but that's what I would do with it. But anytime that you get in the winter, anytime I get like tickle in the back of my throat, any kind of scratchiness, runny nose, any sign that I'm coming down with something, hot toddy, next day, good as gold.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want that bourbon. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
That's better than eucalyptus, baby.
Don't say that to a koala; they'll get pissed off.
I don't know, man. I can change a koala's mind.
Maybe. So, all right.
So, John, I know you've got a little fancier than we have.
I went a little fan. That's not that much fancier, not really. So, I'll start with, first of all, I will concur with both of you. Eggnog with bourbon. It's going to be my honorable mention. It might have been in my top three had neither of you mentioned it, but it'll be an honorable mention. And it's always bourbon for me. But I definitely do want to try the amaretto thing. That's
the one
thing never thought of that. It never occurred to me to do that.
One thing I want to bring up, when Johnny, Tom, and I talk about eggnog, we're talking about taking eggs, taking milk and cream, and making it ourselves, not going out and getting the carton and then adding booze to it.
No.
You know, so I mean, we'll go white trash every now and then, but not that.
Make your. I mean, there are a couple of actually very good eggnogs that are carton.
Chipwich
is good. Southern Comfort's not bad.
Southern Comfort is a pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be in a carton though. If you're getting the if you're getting one that's in a plastic half-gallon container, it's
got to be the
Yeah, I mean that's an eggnog shake. is what it
Well,
is. You know,
Turkey Hill does used to do theirs.
American, yeah.
But it's Turkey Hill. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so eggnog is definitely a good thing Albert mentioned. Like I said, bourbon. It's always bourbon for me, but I definitely have to try that amaretto thing. That's an awesome thing. All right, so my number 3. I throw some gin into the holidays. It's
you throw gin into anything you could possibly throw gin.
Of course,
into.
Yeah. But you know what though? Because October it starts changing over from gin to bourbon for me, right? So. But I kind of have a reprise of some gin during the holidays, and every now and then I'll have a cranberry bramble.
John is a gin whorehound.
Absolutely, yeah. But I'll make it with, I'll do.
So explain the cranberry bramble to us.
Okay, a cranberry bramble is basically cranberry juice, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of orange juice, and gin. So it's mainly gin and cranberry juice, but a little bit of lemon and orange. But I make it with cranberry sauce. Okay.
Really? Wow.
Homemade cranberry sauce, not just like a jelly in the can.
Whole berry.
Whole berry. So you actually have whole berries in your drink. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
A cranberry alcoholic bubble tea.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All right. So there's a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of lemon juice.
That way you can say it's nutritious.
Of course.
Got vitamin C in it.
And then of course the gin. In it, so that's the way to do it. So, but it's good. Cranberry bramble is delicious around the holidays. So, my number 2, easy peasy, hot buttered rum, Myers dark rum, hot buttered rum.
My wife wanted me to mention that because that's the one alcoholic beverage she drinks. She doesn't really drink at all, but an occasional hot buttered rum. Yeah,
there you go. Myers dark rum, easy peasy, done. Do it. Just it's such a good drink. And then my number 1, far and above number 1 for the holidays, is an old fashioned. And I'll drink a million old fashions, by the way. But specifically, and I actually had this conversation with Matt last night, specifically a maple old fashioned.
Maple? Okay, there you go.
With black walnut bitters.
So I might have to give me that recipe. I might have to try that. For me, an old fashioned is more of a spring summer cocktail. It's a little lighter, but when you think that maple, that changes the whole thing.
Absolutely, it's such a good winter drink. You put good maple syrup. And in it, instead of you're not using simple syrup rather. You're putting the maple syrup in.
And what John means by real maple is the pancake syrup.
I'm not putting Aunt Jemima in the drink. No,
there's no such thing as Aunt Jemima anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm not putting Log Cabin in the drink.
Or Mrs. Butterworth.
Actually, there is actually Aunt Jemima too. I just actually bought one the other day.
Oh, it's still out there.
It's still out there.
Okay, so but. Look at the label. If it says high fructose corn syrup, you're not drinking maple syrup.
You're drinking corn syrup.
Maple flavored corn syrup.
Exactly.
Don't use that for this drink. Go out and get the 100% pure maple syrup.
Get a real Vermont maple syrup, and use that as your simple syrup.
Even if it's in one of those little tin log cabins, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And then that's all good. And then and make your old fashioned, and then your bitters, not regular Angostura, not regular Angostura. Use black walnut bitters. Get a thing of black walnut bitters. It's the winter drink. I'll start that now, and I'll drink that through February. It's so good.
Tom, what bitters do you put in your Manhattan?
I usually use. I have traditional Angostura, but I also keep Regan's orange bitters on hand.
I use orange bitters as well.
Orange bitters are good. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I like the Regan's brand.
I don't know what brand I have. I know it's orange. It's got the tan paper label.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
I think I'm going to finish the freaking coquito tonight.
You might. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Look at you. You're just drinking away. Why? Because it's healthy, right? It's like milk, right? You're just drinking the.
It's coconut milk, so it's not even all that fattening.
Right.
I've already got enough fattening going.
So explain the shirt.
My shirt?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You have to be from Central Jersey.
Central Jersey, yeah.
To understand the shirt, and it's great. And every time I see this logo someplace other than Central Jersey, I get excited.
And I think of chess.
You think of chess? Yeah, of course you do. Or the Broadway show Equus.
That too, right?
One Night in Bangkok.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that One Night in Bangkok.
I know. It makes a hard man humble.
And the thing about the One Night in Bangkok, the hookers in Bangkok are better than the hookers in Tequila.
There you go.
Not tequila. what's the what do you say all the time?
There's not much between despair and ecstasy.
Now you're quoting the
Like the guy said,
no,
go
Tijuana. That's what I'm looking for. So
Tijuana.
here comes Tijuana hookers. No, the Bangkok hookers. Anyway,
up here.
what the hell was I talking about?
I don't know where the hell you were going with this. But
It's going somewhere with this.
you're talking about Rook Coffee, is what you're talking about.
Well, now you've answered the question for me. It goes because you went to chess.
Yeah.
You went to chess, which the Broadway show Equus is about chess. But
Right.
So anytime anyone listens to the song "One Night in Bangkok," that song's about chess, by the way,
Right. It's all about chess. Yeah.
and also a little bit about transvestite hookers
And some other stuff. Yeah.
So,
Chess and.
but anyway,
what
so
was the
this
name of the movie though? Equus is the Broadway show. What was the name of the movie?
Oh, I forget what the movie was.
Chess King.
Chess King.
Easy
Oh,
peasy.
I had a few shirts from them back in the 80s.
Right. Exactly. They have a merry-go-round.
Yes, right. And don't forget quails when you want to get fancy.
Quails, absolutely.
You want to
right.
be fancy.
Right.
But I was most excited to see this one of their stickers. A couple of years ago, I was up in Montreal and I climbed Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way up, there was
You climbed Montreal?
Well, Montreal means Royal Mountain.
I know.
And on one of the
What does
boats up
Montreal
there-
mean?
It means the same thing. It's just we're Americanizing the pronunciation of it.
Permission, so it's okay.
So, but one of their stickers was on one of the light posts near the top.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, to see something from home, up in Canada was that was very fun.
Right.
So, but this is one of my. So I know it's not a brewery shirt, but it technically is a brewery shirt because they brew there.
They brew coffee, absolutely. And Leon wants everybody to know that the queens we use would not excite you. Exactly, so.
Again, quoting.
Oh man. Anyway, so all right, cool. Well, there's our top threes for the night, and I think our homework for the rest of the week is for all of us to have all of those.
And to make each other's recipes, yes.
Absolutely, yeah. I will send you my. I basically told you anyway, but I'll send it to you again anyway with that.
That old-fashioned maple.
The bramble and the old-fashioned.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Which means I got to make more whole berry cranberry sauce, which is great because right now cranberries are in deep sale.
Oh well, yeah, exactly. I usually make cranberry sauce probably 4 times between Thanksgiving and like the beginning of January.
Really? To make your brambles?
To make brambles and to eat with leftover turkey and then whatever's coming up for Christmas meals and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'll send you guys my eggnog recipe.
There you go.
Hope you have a stand mixer because I use a stand mixer to make it.
Okay. That works. I do. I have.
And Tom, if your wife's a baker, I'm sure she's got a stand mixer.
Yeah.
I don't. Let's taste the product.
We have a KitchenAid downstairs. So.
I've got the KitchenAid myself.
There you go. So there you go. Cool. Oh yeah. So anybody ready for third?
Your
beer?
mother doesn't want. Oh, sorry.
I don't have questions. I just eat it.
My question is, do I have a third beer or do I pour a little bit of that bourbon in my glass?
Talk about this.
What do we got there?
So last time you guys had me on, I talked about a new distillery here in town.
Yes,
you
we
did.
were talking about that. Yep.
This is what I want to talk to you about. The distillery is Tiakida, which is Welsh for cheers, but they are the same folks that own Springfield Brewing Company. So it's one community. So
Tiakida.
Tiakida.
And the thing is, I think you pronounce too many vowels. There's no vowel.
Let me show you.
Tiakida.
It's pronounced
Storyteller.
Tiakida.
Tiakida. Gotcha.
Tiakida.
So anyway, this is their 92 proof 5-year-old bourbon. Now, how can a young distillery have a 5-year-old bourbon? You may ask.
How can a 5-year-old distillery how can a young distillery have a 5-year-old bourbon?
Yeah. So they bought an existing distillery, and here we go.
And there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Well, there you have it.
Okay, so I'm going to go put this coquito back in the fridge, and I may grab some whiskey.
Why don't you grab some whiskey?
I should be right back.
All right.
I'm pouring exactly 2 ounces, and that's all I'm going to allow myself have tonight because it's a school night, man.
Oh yeah. I hear you.
But I do have the same brand glass, the Tiakida glass here.
Very nice.
There we go. Let me show that to you.
Very pretty glass. Very nice. Very pretty bourbon.
So it is a 5-year-old. Well, while he's gone, I'm going to go into tasting notes with you if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So it is a beautiful 5-year-old, right? You get a lot going on here. Oh my goodness! So you get a lot of caramel. I also get a little mint. Typically, you'll pick up cinnamon or allspice or various other spice notes, but I get mint on the nose from this one.
Okay.
Certainly a lot of vanilla. Wouldn't be unusual if we were to find some raisin, but I particularly get golden raisin.
Golden raisin, really? Okay.
And as I take a nice little sip there, I try real hard not to get pretentious, but sometimes myself gets away with it. So you get a lot of sweetness up front. I get a combination of a very dark brown sugar because you get some nice molasses notes, but you also feel some maple running right around the middle there.
Really nice.
And as you get to the finish, you're going to find some raisin. You might find some date and or fig in there.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on your tasting notes. I like to tell people nobody's ever wrong. You can only taste what you know.
Right.
And then you get to those spice notes at the end, and you're going to find the usual suspects. You got to find some cinnamon, some allspice, but I also feel like I'm picking up some ginger and a little hint of cayenne. It's got a very spicy finish, very bold, oaky finish. Mm-hmm. This is a beautiful small batch 5-year-old.
Very nice. Very nice. Samurai's back. Did he bring bourbon? He did. Of course he did.
I brought the blends.
He brought the blends. So I, whatchamacallit. And by the way, Samurai, we're gonna have to get out there soon because I need a bottle of that that he's drinking.
Oh God, what's that? It's a whole thing. But that's all right. I'll take your word for it.
There you go. But in any event, and I may actually, and plans aren't in the books yet, and there's a chance that if it does happen, it might be a flight, but there's a possibility I might be driving to Denver in April, and if that does happen, we'll make a quick little detour, and even if it's for only a few hours, we'll make a quick little detour. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer to April. But in any event, I'm going to finish off this bottle, which I only opened maybe, I don't know.
Yesterday.
Maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I bought it while I was up there, obviously, last month.
Oh, so it's a Bully Boy.
It's a Bully Boy, yeah. And it's their, and I get at least one bottle every time I'm up there. It's their old fashioned bourbon. They take their bourbon and they put it in an oak barrel with Luxardos and orange peels. So they make an old fashioned. So you basically, that's so good. You just you just pour this over ice and you don't even have to do anything else to it. And they put bitters in it too. I'm sorry, they do put bitters in it as well.
So what's the proof on it?
The proof on it is 74.
Oh, nice.
So there you go, 74 proof. It's really tasty. They're doing some really good stuff up at Bully Boy. And what's amazing is two of my favorite small batch distilleries, and there's a lot of them. It's not like they're my top two. It's just two of my like top 10, if you will, are in Boston, and one is in the Dorchester section in Southie, and the other one is up in Everett, north of Boston, which is Short Path, and they're doing amazing spirits as well up there. But this is just so good. It's so unique. You can't find it anywhere else. I mean, it's a delicious bourbon to begin with, but it's an old fashioned because of how they let it rest before they bottle it. It's so good.
No, considering I've already drank 4 of these, and considering I am not killing this, and there's very little of it left. Like I say, I measure this out because even when they are available, they're getting kind of out of the price range that I will usually spend on a bottle.
They're getting crazy. Well, like I told John, I allowed myself 2 ounce pour, and that's it.
That's it.
I went about an ounce, maybe half.
Well, look at you, lightweight.
It might be a dram.
So wait,
this
it's
not even a finger.
Is it an ounce or is it a dram? Which is it?
Less than both.
Or a jigger, which would be an ounce and a half.
Exactly.
This is a half finger.
Which finger did you use, though?
Even the pinky is probably even half. Well, because you know how it goes. The Brits pour two fingers, right?
I'm gonna go into something, but I decided to bring it back.
The Brits pour two fingers.
Mm-hmm.
The Scots also pour two fingers.
No.
This way.
No, this way.
Same diff.
Same diff.
Really.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, cheers, gentlemen, and happy holidays to you and everybody else. This is.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
No, we appreciate you coming on at the last moment.
Yes, and everybody else does appreciate it because these are always fun shows, and it was unfortunate.
I'm talking to you guys.
It was unfortunate that Joe ran into something he just couldn't maneuver. That's his thing, but he had to reschedule, and he will be our first 2022 guest. He'll be January 4th, Tuesday, January 4th. He'll be on the show. But
and who do we got coming up, Johnny?
Next week on the show is Leah. You might know her from Instagram as Pint Sized Leah, and one of the owners, brewers, whatever, from Mechanical Brewing.
Really?
Nice.
They're
down by Cherry Hill. I think it's Monroe. They're down by Cherry Hill in New Jersey, and they'll be on the show. Was down there a couple months ago. Good liquid. Good tasty beer they're making down there. So,
and that'll be the 14th.
That'll be the 14th. The 20th.
Yes,
you'll be broadcasting live
from Nobo Brewing.
Brewing in Boynton Beach,
Florida. My brother will be there. We'll probably get him on the air if we can. Mm-hmm. We'll see what the technical aspects of this are. We'll have to get there early.
Exactly. And that will be our Christmas week show, if you will, because right. That's the 20th. That Saturday is Christmas.
Yeah, I was planning on. I'll have to wear the ugly Christmas sweater. So next week we should do ugly Christmas sweaters.
We could do that.
We'll do that next week because I'm not wearing an ugly Christmas sweater in Florida.
No. All right. And then the week after that, on the 28th, we round out 2021 with Matt Patensky.
Matt
Patensky. He will be on the show that night, and we will be discussing big beers. And our top 3 list will be those big beers, and we will talk about
our three favorite big beers.
Our 3 favorite big beers. It doesn't matter style. Doesn't matter. Big beers, like 12% and over. Maybe even 14%.
Oh, my.
We'll do.
And not styles. We're talking beers themselves.
Not styles, beers themselves. Yeah, it can be anything you want. Anything that's we'll stick it to 12. 12% and over. Over 12%, we'll say.
Okay.
That'll be the top 3 that week. But yeah, that'll be fun. And by the way, I just want to point out that I did pour this. Okay. But I did pour a chaser for it too.
What's your chaser? There we go. This is because Jess isn't due home for over another hour.
Over another hour, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so. Over another hour. So John will be snoring by the time she gets home.
Not at all. I'm going to eat after this, please. So,
and then snore.
Exactly. So, all right. You know what? While we finish these, why don't we talk about our I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I'll let you guys decide. I'm going back and forth. You want to talk about favorite holiday traditions, not necessarily whether it's libations, food, things to do during the holidays, or just memories, whatever it may be. Where do you want to go? What direction you want to go to wrap this up while we enjoy the rest of these whiskeys?
If you don't want me to start crying, we better not talk about memories.
Let's talk about traditions then.
No, memories. See, the thing about memories, and I'll try to hold together because when you said Christmas memories.
Well, if we go to memories, I will too. So let's not go there. Let's just do traditions.
Well, no, because the one thing I want to bring up, Christmas stockings.
Okay.
What was interesting is my grandparents, and I'm not sure why.
Wore Christmas stockings all year long?
No. Especially my grandfather wearing stockings, that'd be creepy. And now we're back to one night in Bangkok.
There you go.
No, the
silly and shit face.
There was always three.
Didn't exist.
Right.
There was always three things in the stockings. So in the very toe was a silver dollar.
Okay. Fair
Right
enough.
behind that was a walnut,
Okay.
and right behind that was
Nutcracker?
a clementine.
Okay.
Why? I don't know. I'll have to ask my brother. Maybe I'll ask him on the 20th on the show. But I always remember our Christmas stockings always had those three things. There was usually like, when they did those plastic candy canes full of Hershey Kisses, those were in there. Sometimes there was packs of crayons. But usually, we straight balled it with the 64 pack, so those didn't fit in the stocking.
You did what?
Straight balled it
Straight balled it?
with a. we would be balling.
And now we're back to one night in Bangkok.
And Tom's sweaty balls.
Hey, David Kennedy was there. I mean, things had to happen.
I know, right? On the 20th, too, Pete Schwetty's actually be on the show.
Pete Schwetty.
Pete Schwetty, yeah.
Pete Schwetty.
So,
Don't ask, don't tell.
anyway, yeah, I don't know.
So I guess that could be a tradition rather than a memory.
I think it's more of a tradition at that point.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell a story. I think I told this last year, but I'll tell it again. We always had growing up. We always had the holiday parties. Christmas Eve. Not so much Christmas Day. People came over on Christmas Day, but Christmas Eve, the house was packed with family and everything else. Not so much friends, but extended family, uncles, aunts, cousins, everything else.
That's the Italian side right there.
Oh yeah. And then, but we also had New Year's Eve. My parents also did New Year's Eve too.
We all had New Year's Eve, by the way.
They had the party. We all had New Year's Eve. I'm saying they had the party. Pain in the ass. So when I was 16, and can I say this on the air? Well,
when I was
in trouble, is there a statute of limitations? I can't.
Nobody died. We're okay.
All right.
No one's listening, John.
Nobody's
no one
listening
cares.
to us anyway.
No one cares.
So no, I was 16 years old. I got a book. I got a bartending book, and then my parents had a rec room downstairs, full bar, pool table, the whole nine yards.
Was it the red one with the black text on the cover?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Yeah. So anyway,
Mr. Boston.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the book, right? So I'm gonna 10 bar, right? I'm gonna 10 bar for the party. I'm 16, I know what I'm doing.
I have heard the story.
10 bar for the party, yeah. So I'm gonna 10 bar. So and it was fine, And most of the drinks were people coming up and telling me when they ordered, they were telling me what they wanted, right? They were telling me the recipe, right? Gin and tonic, vodka tonic.
That's some gin and
club.
some tonic.
Tonic, right? Exactly. But if they wanted something or whatever, and I had to look in the book, whatever, I did what I did. Now, when my father went out, I says, look, I liked beer at the time. Obviously, I was 16, right? So I asked, if I could get a 6-pack of Molson Golden. I was going all out. I was going.
Back in the day,
top shelf.
Molson Golden was the shit back
Absolutely,
in the day.
Yeah. I'm going top shelf, right? Absolutely, sure. So I had it in the fridge behind the bar. I have my 6-pack of Molson Golden. And I'm drinking, regularly, right? But I'm making these drinks, and as the book says, as the good book said, you got to taste them, right? You put a straw in.
The good book. Wait a second.
The good book.
We just lost the Bible Belt.
Just take a straw in and taste it, right? Anything I tasted, and what do I know that I'm tasting, right? But oh yeah, that tastes good. Here you go, right? But anything that tasted good, I made for myself. So I'm drinking these drinks while I'm drinking my beer and everything else. So about halfway through the night, my mother looked at my father and said, "Do you see what he's doing over there?" And my father said, "Yep." My mother says, "You going to stop him?" My father said, "Nope."
Jack taught you a lesson, didn't he?
Right. Yep.
Was there puke involved in this?
I don't even remember.
Your dad sounds
Very nice.
Anyway, that's there you go.
So Tom, you gonna go with a memory or a tradition?
So this is a tough one for me, and you guys know why.
Right.
But
God, yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of both, and I'm going to try to go more on the irreverent side. But I do want to say one thing serious. There's one thing my wife did when our kids were very little that was just amazing, and they both loved, and it kind of helped with what Christmas is about. Was she'd always make this cake, a small cake, and they when they were really tiny, they'd ask what it was, and this is for Jesus's birthday. So we do the one cake, one candle for Jesus's birthday, then we get on with everything else.
Right.
So that can be a tradition or memory, but that's what she did when our kids were young. So, but I have to share this memory because I think your dad and my dad could have gotten along. So every year there was 5 of us kids, and our dad would do this every year, and every year we would take him seriously as we had this very nice fireplace. And Dad would start a fire. I said, Dad, what are you doing? So I'm starting a fire. I'm going to burn that fat man's big red ass on his way down. He will never come here again. Daddy, please don't. And every year we believed he was actually going to do it.
That's great.
There's something stuck up in the chimney, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's been there all year long.
That's great.
His burnt ass.
That's awesome. That's great.
That's beyond sweaty balls.
Yeah. It's crispy balls. What that is.
A little bit, but anyway.
Smoky
Pete
balls.
Crispy.
Pete Crispy.
No one can resist my crispy balls.
But you got to say it in the right tone.
No one can resist my
creepy balls.
Creepy balls, did you say?
I said creepy balls. Yeah, because it got really creepy with the tone.
I know. Oh, you gotta love it. That's amazing. And all right. Let me ask you this while we're finishing these up: is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, it is. Can I tell you why it is?
Go for it. I agree with you, but go for it. I
agree.
I'll tell you why. People want to say it's not because it's an action film and things are blowing up. But look at the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie, if you get past everything blowing up and people dying, is that the plot of the movie is a man estranged from his family trying to get home for Christmas. That's the whole plot of the movie. He's trying to get home for Christmas.
Yep.
I agree.
There's Christmas music. He's got a teddy bear for his daughter. He's trying to get home for Christmas. Yep. It's a Christmas movie. The fact that he has to blow shit up and kill people, well, that's
irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
He's doing what he has to do to get home to his family.
Exactly.
If it's a Christmas movie, I don't know what it is.
It should be played on Hallmark Channel.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
There's nothing more heartwarming than having to shoot a whole bunch of motherfuckers to get the teddy bear to your children.
But if it was a Hallmark movie, it'd probably be played by Matt LeBlanc or somebody vanilla.
Yeah, and of course the ex-wife would be I just lost the name.
That sucks. I hate when that happens. You having a senior moment, are you?
I've had too much coquito moment is actually what I'm having right now.
6 of 1. I mean,
Meredith Baxter Burney.
Meredith Baxter Burney. I don't know if Matt LeBlanc and Meredith Baxter Burney would mix in a.
They would try it anyway. It is Hallmark afterwards.
This is true. This is very true.
After all, not afterwards.
After all, yeah.
Before and afterwards, they still are the Hallmark Channel.
So, okay. So what's your top 3? And we did this last year. I don't think we're gonna.
Who did we do that with?
We did.
Oh God, we did it with like a 23-year-old.
Kyle, yeah.
Kyle 12 guns. He's like 23. And I told John right away what 2 of them would be, and sure enough.
Well, in case we decide that we want to do it on the 20th or even next week for that matter, why don't we just go? What's your favorite holiday movie? Let's just talk about that now. Tom, what's your favorite of any holiday movie? It could be Die Hard even. What's your favorite holiday movie?
My favorite holiday. Okay, this is where it's going to get a little embarrassing.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't matter.
You've not embarrassed yourself enough already.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go. This is my chick flick moment, and my wife chuckles at me every time. But there's something about this particular movie that I watch ad nauseum every time it's available throughout the holiday season, and it's The Holiday. I think it's Jack Black's best acting ever. Eli Wallach is amazing in that movie.
Wallach was still alive when Jack Black was alive?
The Holiday.
The movie The Holiday. I know what he's talking about, yeah. Yeah. Kate Winslet's in it.
Kate Winslet, Jack Black.
How old is Eli Wallach in this movie?
What's her face, too?
He's old in the movie.
He's very old in the movie.
Because he's the bat. He's
gotten an Academy Award nomination for that film. He was so brilliant.
And was he not the bad guy in the Magnificent Seven?
He was the bad guy in The Good, Bad, the Ugly. He was
the ugly. He was the ugly.
He was ugly, yeah.
The ugly one.
Because Van Cleef was the bad.
Van Cleef was the bad, yeah.
Yep.
And what's her face?
Wah, wah, wah.
What's her face is in it too? Oh, geez, I can't think of her name. The
He likes
blonde.
to his eyes a lot.
The blonde. Was in that movie too.
I've not seen
name?
this movie. I've not seen this movie.
She was in something about Mary. What the hell's her name?
Oh, Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is in it too.
Yeah, Cameron Diaz, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Samurai, what's your favorite? Tops. Number one. Numero uno. Ultimate. Not penultimate. That would be number two. Number one.
That'd be a hard one. If you asked me in an hour, it'd probably changed.
Of course. And if we do this list next week, it'll change. So it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. I got one of my favorites, and I just love because all of the people they bring into this movie, the way it's filmed, and it's just a remake of a classic, is Scrooged.
Sure.
Yeah. We watch it every year. That movie is just genius.
The bitch hit me with a toaster. You know, there's just so much wonderful about that movie. Bobcat Goldthwait.
Sure. Oh, that's great.
Color.
Yeah, it's just such a fun movie.
Genius film.
Yeah, you know, Bill Murray at one of his caricature bests.
Yeah, I mean, that was the height of his career right there. Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Buster Poindexter.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
David Johansen, but yeah.
David Johansen.
David Johansen. But yeah, he was credited as David Johansen, but we all know who it was.
When he was an actor, he was David Johansen. When he was a singer early on, he was David Johansen. He turned into Buster Poindexter later on, yeah.
That movie was hot.
Dexter was meant to be a caricature, right? It was meant as satire, but people took his character seriously.
Sure. Right, exactly. So there you go. And Bill Murray and both of his brothers were in that movie too. They were. Brian Doyle Murray played his father in the flashback to the 50s. Yep. And his brother played his brother.
Yes.
His other brother played his brother. I forget his name. I forget his brother's name. His other brother's name.
Yeah.
His other brother's been in a lot of things. He was in American Gods?
Yep.
Very briefly until he got swallowed by a vagina. Literally, he gets swallowed by a vagina in that series.
You know,
way to go.
Haven't we all?
If you got to go,
yes,
you know.
Nickel.
Well, he was also in Dharma and Greg, if you remember. That was probably one of the most memorable roles.
He was in Dharma and Greg, yep. So, mine, in case you were wondering.
No, we weren't.
All right, fine, forget it.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, and it is and always will be. And if we do this list next week, it'll still be number one on the list. Is a Christmas Story,
The Pink Nightmare,
the Christmas Story.
Shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah, shoot your eye out. Yeah, exactly. And if you can see it right there,
there it is.
That's me at the Christmas Story house. You know, touching the late lamp,
which is in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, yep.
Really? How about that?
We were out in Cleveland, and we're taking a tour of the house. Right now, this house that they filmed it in is an actual house. It wasn't a set; it was an actual house. The producers, the story we got when we were there, producers went out and they decided they're driving around. They wanted to film it in Cleveland, right? They're driving around Cleveland, and they see this house at the end of this block comes down to a T, right? And they see this house kind of diagonally over to the right from the end of this block, and that's the house. That's it. The perfect. That's it.
Blocks away from Lake Erie.
Yeah, and that's where it is. That's what they want. And they go to the door, and they knock, and nobody's there, right? So there's a diagonally across the street the other way is a bar. So let's go over there. We'll keep an eye out the window. When somebody comes home, we'll go over and knock on the door and talk to them. We want to use the house for the film, right? So they go over and they sit at the bar, and they're sitting there talking, and they're BSing with the bartender and everything else. And then the guy sitting next to him after about a half an hour says, "So let me get this right. You wanna use that house across the street?" Long story short, it's his house.
Of course.
Right? He says, "I'm sorry, I really don't have any interest in letting you use my house for a film." And they go, "We'll give you," I forget what the amount was. I think it was like $20,000 or $30,000 at the time, right? "We'll give you like $30,000 for the film." Before they get the word dollars out of their mouth, he has the keys in his hand and he's handing them to them. So they filmed it there, but that was just good.
I just thought they were just going to double dog dare him.
Yeah. No, they went right over the double dog there and went right to the triple dog there.
That would have been perfect. Well, double berries.
I mean, that's daring, etiquette. I mean, that's just, you can't skip. I mean, what the hell are they doing,
No.
But anyway. Fudge, yeah. Exactly.
But I didn't say fudge.
Exactly. It was funny though. I mean, I've seen that movie. I mean, I saw it when it came out in the theater, right? I mean, and I've seen it a million times
Because
since,
he's
right?
that old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But in any event, we're there, and this kid, he's probably 21, 22, and he's giving the tour of the house, right? And he's doing a great job. I mean, he knows everything. He's trying, but he keeps asking questions. He says, "You have any idea who this was?" And I answer the question. "You have any idea who this was?" After about the fourth or the fifth time, he goes, "Do you want to give the tour?" I go, "No, you're doing a good job. Just keep going."
Well, you got to be careful. You got to be careful that you don't bruise his ego, because his ego would be.
Well, I didn't cut him off. I answered his questions.
You missed my joke.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
I said you got to be careful about the kid's ego, because egos can be fragile.
Oh yes, egos are very fragile.
They must be Italian.
They must be Italian egos. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so yeah. Well, this has been a great
lot of
show.
fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of booze.
A lot of booze, a lot of fun. I still have some more I'm drinking, so don't go anywhere, Tom. We'll talk after we sign off. I thank everybody for watching the show tonight, and once again,
show.
What?
The show.
The show. Yes.
You've never stressed it that way before. I like
the
that.
show.
The show.
The show tonight.
Like the Beer Samurai.
The Beer Samurai.
The
Beer Whispery. Whisperer. There you go.
Whispery? Tom's never been described as whispery.
He's not whispery at all. No.
Yeah,
Anyway.
How I got that name, I said, well, I think it's more ironic.
Exactly. Right.
Actually,
anyway,
what's really funny is my last name in Polish translates to quiet.
That's funny.
There's nothing Sichon about you.
No, let's just talk about it. Actually, in Polish, it'd be Chahon.
Chahon?
Chahon.
I know. All right.
Well, how was it actually pronounced? Because I've probably been pronouncing it wrong when I said it.
No. Sichon is correct. John pronounced it the way my family has pronounced it.
So I have been pronouncing it wrong. Okay.
But Chahon is the actual Polish pronunciation.
Okay.
Right. It's one of those things where you're going to bust your Johonis. So.
Yeah, bust my Johonis.
There you go.
Bust my quiets.
Bust your quiets. Exactly. All right. Anyway.
Buster Poindexter.
Buster. There you go. All right. Our regrets to Joe. We hope everything works out. And
regrets to our audience for the jokes that you've had to go on.
Audience for the jokes that you had to endure with the three of us on the show tonight. So, but once again, like I said, Joe will be on the show on the 4th of January. So look forward to that. But our many, many, many thanks once again to Mr. Whisperer, as always, for coming on the show.
And his wife for sugaring him up with the
absolutely.
Bread and beer, who knew?
Exactly. So stay with us. We'll be back in a second. We'll wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30-ish.
Keep stealing my thunder on that.
Every Tuesday night at 6:30.
Ish.
There you go.
Except for a couple weeks from now, we're going to be going off on a Monday.
We're going to be going off on a Monday, yes. We'll let you know. That's not next week. It's the week after, but we'll let you know. And for those of you that...
I said 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. A couple of weeks. You said a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Anyway, for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts.
A few is 3, some is 4.
Right.
Several is 5.
Plus, the show is now available on Amazon Music Podcast and iHeartRadio as well. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Continue to have a happy holiday season, a happy and healthy holiday season. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Have a good one. Take care. Cheers.
Ciao.